Yes. Educated at Rollington Town, second Rollington Town School, Vaz Prep, Wentworth High School, Northwestern Academy, and Cornwall College. I mean, a Cornwall College man. Yeah? And got in the music business in the early 1960s, and we're just trying to correct a little audio glitch here we're having, so we can bring Mr. Seaton back online. But got in the business in the early 1960s, and Garth, you and I had this conversation earlier this week, where when we looked at the 1960s, it was easily the golden years of Jamaican music, particularly as it relates to the rock-steady era. BB, you hearing us now? Are you hearing us?
Should be hearing
you. But as you were saying, so the 1960s was the quintessential golden years of Jamaican music. And in particular, we looked, Garth, if you remember, 1966, 67, 68, in particular 67.
And I can tell you, 67 and 68 was almost like an unheralded year when it comes to the music. When I go through Jamaican music, the amount of music, rocksteady it was produced between 67 and 68 is, let me tell you, Richie. And those songs were not just songs that just, were songs, but they were hits. Big hits.
Yeah, almost every one of these songs that we touched, they were hits in their own right.
Yeah, Freedom Street was a phenomenal hit.
And again, Freedom Street is a song. In fact, that song.
It was covered by different artists too.
Right, but the song itself too is kind of very applicable at this time. I mean, we became independent 60 years ago. We basically earned our wings, if you will. Freedom Street, we know walking on our own, we're responsible for ourselves, and a good revisit, if you ask me, God, because we're celebrating, and we want to look at what's the next 60 years gonna look like, and that our creative people, in my opinion, have to take a significant role in the Jamaica that is going to be presenting itself over the next 60 years.
Especially coming from the shoulders that they've been standing on for the past. Because when you look at people like Delroy Wilson, Ken Booth, B.B. Seaton, different producers like Duke Reed, Coxsone Dodd,
Bonnie Lee,
Channel One, Hookin Brothers, Beverly's Records. It is amazing. It's an amazing legacy to have. And that's one of the reasons why we haven't even touched on any new artists yet. We're focusing on the legacy that is there, because this foundation is huge.
I think it is important that we need to understand where our music is coming from. Now, B.B. Seaton had essentially there a couple of stages to his own career. There is his singing career, which began in the early 1960s. You touched on two pieces of work. There's a Fire, which was a piece he wrote for Ken Booth.
Yes.
And then you also...
Well, Freedom Street is one that he wrote for Ken Booth.
Sorry, Freedom Street.
And then there's a Fire, the Gay Lads.
By the Gay Lads. The Gay Lads, though, was comprised what? Initially, there were three of them, and then I think it ultimately boiled down to himself and Delano Stewart, who himself, too, was a good vocalist with a reasonably impressive solo career, and quite a few of the pieces that Delano Stewart produced came from the pen of B.B. Seaton as well. But we want to look at, first of all, the work that he did. Remember, I told you, he wrote songs for people like Marcia Griffiths, wrote songs for Dennis Brown,
Delroy Wilson,
The Chosen Few, Freddie McGregor, Aswad, UB40,
Ras Obi,
Jimmy London, the Melodians, the Uniques, which featured people like Slim Smith.
Yes.
Slim Smith and Cornell Campbell, Roddy Thomas, Winston Francis, and so on and so on. So, a pretty extensive list. Is almost like, what's his name?
Bob Andy?
No, harmonica man.
You mean Charlie Organier?
Charlie Organier. Yeah, man, I'm say if Charlie never play for your music, you wasn't a singer at that time, and you could almost say the same thing here, that
because he found himself in the halls of Studio One.
Absolutely.
He worked with Tip Top Records, which part of Duke Reed, and then he also went to Channel One, part of the original Consciousness,
right?
And worked extensively with Sly and Robbie and Revolutionaries. Really.
Yeah.
Hi there. If you enjoyed that clip, go on over to our website at yawdmedia.com, where you can watch the entire broadcast at your leisure. And while you're there, why don't you check out our other reggae music features? And before you leave, pick up some of our Jamaican reggae merchandise, and hey, don't forget to tell your friends.
My name is Garth, otherwise known as Big G.
My name is Richie Blackford.